This is News Talk 710 KURV, a Radio United digital media and broadcast station. From the KURV Broadcast Center, this is the 956 Drive Home.
All right, we're doing this.
Put on your seatbelt, check your mirrors. Let's begin.
Buckle up and get ready to talk about today's headlines and topics important to you. Here's Zach Cantu and Davis Rankin.
Hey, just like that, back at it again on a Monday. Glad you're here with us. I'm Zach Cantu along with the living legend, Davis Rankin. That's right, Los Locos Blancos, your 956 Drive Home. Hey, on the program today, we got lots of people stopping by to visit. One of those people is Scott Brennan from the Corn Report up in Austin. What happened last week talking about school vouchers. Also, THC, very contested, believe it or not. Also, the Life of the Mother Act is in committee, and a few other things happening budget-wise up in Austin. Plus, Football Fred talking about NCAA Final Four. And we will also be talking about tariffs, Tariff Monday. Every day is like a tariff day now. It was just Tariff Tuesday, then it expanded into Wednesday, Thursday. It's just, everybody's talking about tariffs these days. I think it's a snow globe, Davey, and I'll explain what I mean when we get to it. So let's get the show started. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. Dr. Ray Perryman will be joining us to talk about tariffs on the show today, but first, we'll get caught up on the Valley and the great state of Texas up next on 710 KURV.
And now, important moments in news history.
Millions of Americans have used Paxlovid. Paxlovid. I think I used it.
This has been important moments in news history. Zach Cantu, 710 KURV.
The City of McAllen is thrilled to offer your business an opportunity to apply for a matching grant of up to $15,000. The Refresh 50/50 grant was designed with your business in mind. Apply for the Refresh 50/50 grant to upgrade your storefront with improvements like new paint, signage, landscaping, art, lights, doors, and more. Take advantage of this amazing opportunity and apply today at www.refresh5050.com. The Refresh 50/50 grant is brought to you by the City of McAllen. Hablamos español.
Jay Gonzalez, the Valley's top lawyer with over 20 years of experience. Jay Gonzalez is simply the best. If you've been injured in a crash, call 1-800-CAR-CRASH today.
One of the blessings from El Pato, they serve breakfast tacos, patos all day long, and plates. Think of it, 4 p.m., you're craving some chorizo, potato, cheese, egg, and some of those patos. Yeah, they'll serve those up for you. Order online, elpato.com. You know the location near you, call it in like I do. Have a bag full of breakfast patos ready for you any time of the day. Bacon, egg, chorizo, potato, cheese, you name it. Even barbacoa patos waiting for you. This is one of my favorite times of the year. It's Lent season. That means the nopalitos are back at El Pato. Nopalito and egg plate, only $6.59. Nopalito and salmon plate, $6.99. Fish tacos, $2.99. Nopalitos with egg, the nopalito plate, salmon patty plate. It's all real good. And don't forget the big special for a limited time. The spicy, very delicious, beautiful green tomatillo sauce. Spicy chicken enchiladas with that melted white cheese, rice, bean, and the drink. Only $6.99 for a limited time at El Pato.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV.
Time is 4:10 on News Talk 710 KURV. Your 956 Drive Home with Zach Cantu and the living legend, Davis Rankin. Tonight's the night, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in to hear coverage of the NCAA Men's College Basketball Championship tonight. Coverage from Westwood One. It's the Gators taking on the Houston Cougars. All the action on 710 KURV, the Radio Padami app, made possible by McAllen Bolt and Mott's Building Materials. We'll also be talking with Football Fred Alfaro coming up in the next hour of the program to talk about this very thing, the bracket, how his bracket went, which was surprising, believe it or not. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Meanwhile, a little bit more serious note happening in the Valley. This happened Saturday. A 13-year-old student facing charges after allegedly making a threat against a school in Hidalgo County. The Elsa Police Department began investigating a school shooting threat on Saturday night. Investigators were able to track the threat to an Elsa IDEA student The teen was taken into custody and charged with making a terroristic threat. Food Bank of the Rio Grande Valley is asking for help due to some cuts by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The organization CEO says that the Trump administration's actions have left the food bank without products like beans, rice, macaroni, and cheese, and other things like that. Whataburger and HEB have helped out, but the food bank will need greater community support going forward. And if you want to help, there's more information at the food bank's website. Over in Progreso, one of their high school team has been disqualified from the state soccer playoffs for using it's one of those days, Davey. An ineligible player. My brain is getting ahead of my mouth today. Don't comment on it. Don't you dare comment on that. The University Interscholastic League says that the disqualification of the Progreso High School boys team on Friday, that they made the decision about an hour before the state 4A boys semifinal game between Progreso and Salado. The high school released a statement on social media, says that they accepted the decision and remained committed to upholding the values of fair competition. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says that vaccines are the best ways to stop the spread of measles. Kennedy traveled to Texas Sunday, where he visited the epicenter of the measles outbreak that's now killed 2 children. He spent part of his visit consoling the 2 families. He also said he was meeting with the Texas health officials to see how the federal government can partner with them to control the outbreak. He said he's deployed a team to supply pharmacies with the measles vaccine. Why did you furrow your brow, Davey?
He's Mr. Anti-Vax, he just said. And now he's...
Remember in 2024, Davey, I said the stuff we would be discussing in 2025 would be a little bit more complicated than the zero sum that we're used to talking about. It's not just ones, it's not just zeros, it's not just wins, it's not just losses, it's not just team red versus team blue. There's going to be a little bit of nuance, a little bit of gray area, a little bit of critical thinking involved, right? Now, just because JFK had some things to talk about the COVID vaccine, just because he had some things to say about some of the variants of the COVID vaccine, does not mean he was anti-vax.
No me importa. I mean, I don't care.
And he said that about measles vaccines as well.
You believed him? I think he said what he needed to say to get the job. I don't really care.
I'm saying a critical thinker would not believe that all vaccines are bad, especially the ones that have been time and time again proven to take on issues like the measles.
So you say there's a chance.
The COVID vaccine, highly controversial, as you remember, and that's still an open wound that's taking a real long time to heal. But some of these other ones, some of these ones that have a real long track record of being effective, like measles or polio, you know what I mean? Those are effective, and that's what RFK is trying to say here. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick calling on the Texas House to get busy passing bills that the Senate has already approved. Yeah, go ahead, rubber stamp them. Why do we even have you guys here in the first place? Go ahead. Why do you need to do that?
You're channeling.
Patrick says that what?
You're channeling the Lieutenant Governor.
I'm doing it sarcastically, David. That's the point of that. Yeah, go ahead, rubber stamp it. We don't care. That's the whole point of the House being there, is so that they can discuss these things. But anyway. Patrick says the Senate has passed about 200 bills in the past 2.5 months, while the House has passed 10. House business usually takes a little bit longer since it has 150 members, and the Senate has 31. Patrick says he expects the Senate to pass almost all of the priority bills by April 15th. He expressed confidence that the House, under Speaker Dustin Burrows, can follow through. That never fails to make me giggle, Davey. Just shut up and sign it already.
Yeah, really.
Just shut up and vote. We don't need to discuss these things. Senator Ted Cruz says he's taking a wait-and-see approach to the Golden Commander, President Donald Trump's worldwide tariffs. The Texas Republican, or Fighting Texas Wolverine, Senator Ted Cruz, told his podcast audience on Friday that the tariffs could harm the state and the nation, but it's too early to tell. Trump sees the tariffs as a way of protecting American workers by bringing manufacturing to the United States and a way to push back against other countries' trade restrictions. Cruz says world leaders may ask Trump to remove the tariffs and offer to reverse their own tariffs on American goods. You know, Davey, I was thinking about tariffs in the shower again, like I said on Friday. I was thinking about them in the shower again today.
You're doing that on purpose.
And you know what conclusion I came to? Or I came up with another analogy. Think about a snow globe, Davey.
Oh, okay.
Aren't they pretty? Aren't they quaint?
Until you drop them.
Aren't they nice when the snowflakes are floating around?
Yeah.
All over the snow globe, and everybody's having a good time inside the snow globe.
So somebody drops it.
Why do you talk about dropping it? Nobody's dropping the snow globe. Look, but in order to keep those snowflakes going, what do you need to do?
Shake it.
You need to turn it upside down at the very least, shake it a little bit, and then you bring it back upright. It's the same thing here. At some point, things just get stagnant. Why do you think people dye their hair unorthodox colors at times? Because they just want to shake things up.
Bad judgment.
No, not bad judgment. But you're kind of sick of the way things are right now, so you just want to kind of, you know what, let me just shake things up a little bit and let's just see where the chips fall, and they may fall where they fall. But we've been seeing some positive results, according to the Golden Commander.
Mm-hmm.
First, one country came in, then a few more countries came in, then many countries called in saying, hey, we want to come to the table and negotiate, and that's what they did. That's what they did.
What if they said, hey, we'd like to come together?
I have some audio from Fox, but I have 1,000 tabs open, so I don't. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me play this one, Joe. Let me do this
punch one. Just
Fox News. This is the European Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, talking about how they want to come to the table, talk about these tariffs here.
Indeed, we have offered 0 for 0 tariffs for industrial goods, as we have successfully done with many other trading partners, because Europe is always ready for a good deal, so we keep it on the table.
There we go. So that was from earlier today. So that's just one example. There's a few others, but we don't have time for them right now. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. This is your 956 Drive Hallman. Coming up next on the program, Tesla protests. Did you know that there was a big Trump protest over the weekend?
No.
It was only in the blue states. That's the only place it was at. Places that were heavily congested blue. They had protests. I have audio from one lady who was very upset Gen Z didn't show up to that. Plus, look at college basketball and a few other things. We'll talk about that and more stories from the state of Texas up next on 710 KURV.
News, information, and entertainment in crystal clear digital quality. Download the Radio Parami app and listen to News Talk 710 KURV and our family of Radio United broadcast and digital stations. The Radio Parami app. Download it now.
In a world that seems to be constantly changing, to be constantly in flux, there's a place, physical place you can go where certain things remain the same. And I'm talking about Zamora's restaurants in McAllen and Edinburg. What remains the same is the quality of the food, the good taste of the food. It's a place to which you can retreat, or a place you can go to, where the foods is the same authentic South Texas Tex-Mex Mexican food that you grew up on, and you want some. It's a sort of like a teddy bear, but a teddy bear you can eat, or a teddy bear you can take to go, teddy bear you can have them wrap up and you take the rest of them with you, if you know what I mean. Zamora's restaurants have for 50 years, for half a century, the place to go for authentic Mexican food, South Texas Mexican food, the kind that we like. And if you haven't been to Zamora's restaurant, make this week anyway, your first time. Staff will welcome you with a big smile. They're very friendly. They're very competent. The food's terrific. As I say, they've been working on it for 50 years. The prices are righteous. It's a place that's so nice, so accommodating. You can take the entire family and you won't break the bank. Eat in, take out. Zamora's Restaurants, McAllen and Edinburg. Go and enjoy that authentic Mexican food.
Steel, walk behind, zero turn, and stand on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
With the stock market at record highs, are you confident your portfolio can weather the next big downturn? Market corrections are quick and unforgiving, wiping out hard-earned gains in an instant. Smart investors know the key to financial security is diversification. That's why Noble Gold Investments makes it easy for Americans to help hedge market volatility and diversify their investments with gold. Since 2010, central banks have steadily increased their gold reserves. And in 2024, gold prices soared over 25%. Gold is simple. You buy it, you own it, you control it. Over $2 billion in precious metal sales, Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands of investors diversify their portfolios with gold IRAs and physical gold. And now, when you open a qualified account, Noble Gold will gift you 5-ounce silver America the Beautiful coins as a thank you. Don't wait for the next downturn to catch you off guard. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com today. See how easy it is to incorporate gold into your investment strategy. That is noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com.
710 KURV. Streaming live at KURV.com. Powered by Texas Mutual Workers Compensation Insurance. A policyholder-owned company. Work safe, Texas.
423, you're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. This is your 956 drive home with Zach Cantu and the living legend Davis Rankin. Davey Do, I want to make sure you're awake. Can I get a K Honda, buddy?
K Honda.
K Honda. Close enough. Close enough. Nicely done. We're your home for Houston Astros baseball. News Talk 710 KURV. Tonight, we're broadcasting the NCAA championship, so there's no broadcast. But tomorrow, the Astros on the road against the Seattle Mariners. Pregame 8:10. Your home for Astros baseball. News Talk 710 KURV. Made possible by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women and Mission Economic Development Corporation. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, very serious about his threats to get rid of the state's lottery.
If we can't look at people in the eye and say to Texas, you can trust the lottery and you're going to get a fair deal and the games are fair. If we can't do that, then we can't extend it.
He's been critical of current and former lottery leaders, which are currently under investigation by the Texas Rangers. This has to do with a rule change in 2016, allowing so-called couriers, allowing people to buy tickets online. And they're linked to a pair of controversial lottery jackpots. So Dan Patrick says if the state can't guarantee that the drawings are not rigged, then we can't have them anymore.
A lot of people like to play it, but we cannot renew the lottery commission if we can't trust it.
He's talking about an incident that happened. I don't remember how far back this went, but I forget actually. A bunch of people threw in a lot of money, like big time money, millions of dollars, to buy out literally every number combination in the lottery. Which it's like
they figured out if they put in X.
Guys like me and Joe are the guys that play the lottery because we don't have any money. So if we throw down a $5 ticket, we have hopes and dreams writing on that ticket. These guys, it's just another Tuesday an investment for them. That's what they do.
They played it like an investment, not as a game.
Yeah, poor people like us who work in radio play the lottery.
You help
not like David, who's got plenty of privilege to go around. He doesn't need the lottery.
You get some of that privilege too. You're pretty white. Joe's pretty white. I mean, he can testify how great the advantage is. No, I was kind of surprised. What I read was they looked at it like a business investment, but like a sure thing business investment. I thought this is brilliant. Why does it break the rules? I don't know.
Because the lottery is supposed to be a game of chance, and if you can buy out every combination, there's no longer
chance.
There's no longer all the fun is taken out of it. There's no fairness in it because we bought out every combination.
Which fun for the people who invested all that money. It's real fun.
Why even have the lottery? Why even have the lottery if you're going to play it like that? Why even do it? There's no point. There's no point in doing it. Tesla owners say that their cars are being vandalized by opponents of Elon Musk, who are also targeting dealerships. In Texas, lawmakers want to make it a felony to damage an electric vehicle at a charging station.
All this is unacceptable. This is organized crime behavior.
That's Republican State Senator Paul Betancourt. He's the bill's author, and if passed, it would put vandals in jail for up to 10 years. Nationwide protests this weekend targeting Musk and President Trump, mostly peaceful. I'm sorry. That phrase has a stigma. You
Mostly
have to admit,
peaceful?
mostly peaceful protest. Remember the last time we had a mostly peaceful protest, Davey? According
Was
to
a most-
MSNBC, everything was on fire. You remember that?
It was a mostly peaceful lynching. It was very peaceful until they lynched the guy, in which case it wasn't peaceful. For him, it wasn't peaceful.
It was a mostly peaceful bonfire of local businesses and vehicles in a big city.
That's a mistake.
It was mostly peaceful.
I would think if you damage what they've done is the degree of bad it is depends on how much the damage costs. So if you do, I don't know what felony, what you have to break to make a felony now, but let's say it's $10,000. If you do $5,000 worth of damage, that's not a felony. They're going to make it a felony. Why him? Why a Tesla? I don't agree with what they're doing, but once you go down the road of,
you could make.
Never mind.
I mean, any vandalization of any vehicle, obviously, especially since, for some reason, mechanical objects with four wheels tend to explode or get set on fire for some reason, whether it's gas or electric. But the charging stations too, I don't know. I think this is one of those things that's in development, right? Because you've heard about the stories of guys in other states, actually even here, and I think in Houston, actually, where they'll go to the superchargers and they'll cut the cords, they'll cut the cables to the chargers because it's got copper in it. And then they sell the copper.
Yeah.
So they have to replace all these things. So, I mean, I'm not against having more penalties for these sorts of things, especially if they're going to be going by and doing more than one type of vandalism, whether it's political or not. Your thought?
I had an absurd thought. So,
All right.
which is to put snipers there, but not to shoot them with a bullet, shoot them with a dart that tranquilizes them. So, but you have to have somebody there 24 hours a day. They have to have, get time off.
Oh, wait, you mean the car?
No,
no, that's actually not a bad idea. So the Tesla cars, if I'm not mistaken, they have like a camera.
I don't know.
Because there's been footage from like the Tesla, right? Wouldn't it be interesting if you have the car watching people walk up to the car,
smile,
grabbing footage, but also security feature, hey, tranquilizing dart. Anybody coming up to the car to vandalize it, just like that.
Or just a mild dose of electricity, just enough to knock them out.
And then it quietly calls the police, and it takes our sleeping protester to the
to the
police station. There you go. Meanwhile, across the country, mostly blue areas, there was the hands-off rally to protest Trump and Elon Musk. This is the guys from NBC News talking about this one. Listen to some of the guys that they talked to, David.
Trump got elected. All our savings are gone. I had it in stocks. It's hopeless. There's no hope for this country. I want to move to China.
Demonstrators across the country are coming out in full force in protest of President Trump's administration and Elon Musk. I'm here in Washington, D.C., where we've chatted with several today about what brought them out. And it wasn't just Democrats.
Allegedly.
I stand with many millions of Americans that want to see the end of a dictatorship that's starting to take away all of our democratic rights.
People are scared to speak out. I know people who were scared to come to the rally today because they didn't know what might happen to them.
Because I vote for Trump, it's not what I vote for. He's doing all these wrong things.
The guy claims he voted for Trump, but he's wearing a resist t-shirt. I highly doubt this guy voted for Trump.
Spoke with protesters about who they think the leader of the resistance is now. And while there was no clear consensus, several lawmakers came out and spoke in support of today's hands-off rally. Based on our conversations with protesters here, while the words are nice, they are looking for action.
People who are resisting, not resisting, that should be, is basically Congress. And it's upsetting.
For now.
The resistance should not be Orange Man bad.
What do you mean? Orange Man's Trump, but
I get that, but it shouldn't be the job of Congress to stop Orange Man bad. It should be the job of Congress to objectively look at things and say, hey, is this a good idea? Let's move forward with it. If it's a bad idea, let's renegotiate it. And maybe we can find another way to work with it. And if we can't work with it, then we send it by the wayside. That's what Congress should be doing, not arbitrarily protesting whoever the villain of the week is for you.
Oh, we're kind of just stuck with Bernie, AOC.
Democrats, like our Democratic senators or representatives, they're not on the same level in terms of wealth as everybody else. They're not going to really want.
Weren't we just talking about this last week about guys like Nancy Pelosi and these guys that go up to Washington, D.C. and they make like $200,000, $300,000 a year from the salary that is given for somebody who holds a public office, and then they come out millionaires, multi-millionaires.
Just luck. It's just luck.
Luck of the draw. I don't know how that happens. Meanwhile, there was another lady on TikTok, and I'll have Joe cue this one up. So she was upset at who didn't show up at these protests. Listen to this.
Want to give up.
Oh, it should still be on the cool edit. Oh, we closed it. Okay, we'll tell you what. We'll pull that up another segment. Then we're running out of time this segment anyway. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. This is your 956 drive home. Coming up next on the program. Oh, are you giving me the high sign for the? Yeah, you think you got it? Okay, we'll tell you what. Let me spend an extra couple of minutes here on this, and then we'll get to Scott. So this was some lady. I want to say it was in New York City. I could be wrong about that. It could be another blue city. But they're doing the whole hands-off protest, et cetera, et cetera. This lady is upset that Gen Z didn't show up. It was just millennials and old people, she says. Listen to this.
Protest right now in New York City, anti-Trump, anti-fascist protest, and I have one question. Where the is Gen Z? These people are cheering, they're talking like it's just the 60s, it's just like the 60s, and they're having conversations and walking slowly. There's no fight here, there's no youth here. It's all 30-somethings and their children, and then seniors, and God bless everybody who showed up today, but I'm really disappointed in the youth turnout. Where is the youth turnout? This is your future that is going to be impacted by the actions of the Trump administration.
So who is effing disappointed? Who is that person?
Some lady who was at the protests this weekend. And
she doesn't know what the demonstrations were back in the day. She wasn't born then.
No, but she's saying that only guys that were there in the 60s are there protesting now.
They're still looking for dope and for girls.
So these guys are there trying to live the good old days, relive the good old days.
Can't go home again.
Along with some millennials who are just upset at the whole thing. But Gen Z, nowhere to be found. You know where they might be, Davey? Working. That's where they might be right now. Working. Let's play a little bit more, Joe, before we go. I know we're running
future
short
that
on
is
time.
going to be impacted by the actions of the Trump administration. And it's really this easy to show up in numbers and show your government that they're outnumbered. That is the point of a protest, to show that your government that they are outnumbered.
Thank you.
And if Trump leads you to believe that protesting does nothing, then this is what we get. We get a crowd of 30-somethings and their children and seniors, and barely any teenagers ever. Like, these, oh my God, I can't even. Like, where are you going if you're not going to the protest right now? What's more important?
What's more important to a teenager than going to a protest, Davey? What?
Hands up, don't shoot.
Video games, going to the movies, shopping, staying on social media, doom
What do we
scrolling.
want? Peace. When do we want it? Now.
Hanging out with other teenagers, not protesting. There's so many more things I could think of that are just way more fun than going out there and protesting. Staying outside all day, yelling at the top of our lungs.
The air conditioned outside, then people would go.
Just screaming into the void. That's what they're doing. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. It's your 956 drive home. Up next in the program, Scott Braddock from the Core Report up in Austin for an update of the Texas Ledge. That's coming up next at 710 KURV.
Stay ahead of the game with News Talk 710 KURV. Follow us on LinkedIn. Exclusive news updates and in-depth audio and video interviews on topics that matter to you, your business, your industry. Follow us on LinkedIn and join a growing community of smart, savvy listeners like you. Network, connect, and never miss a beat from the Rio Grande Valley's trusted news source. Stay informed, stay connected, and stay ahead. It's time to take the conversation further. Follow News Talk 710 KURV on LinkedIn today.
McAllen Bolt, Westwood One, and 710 KURV are joining forces to bring you every second of this year's NCAA college basketball tournament. McAllen Bolt, your longtime provider of fasteners and industrial supplies, wants you to know, no matter the time, place, or quantity, McAllen Bolt is here for your projects. Now providing the exciting play-by-play of this year's Final Four and championship from San Antonio. McAllen Bolt, 710 KURV, 40 years of fastening our future. Go Cougars!
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Our video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
When you must take money from your retirement accounts. I'm Ginny Cosola with your Fox Business Tax Tip. Coming up.
It's time to take the quiz. 5 questions, 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week.
Take the quiz every weekday at thequiz.fox and then listen to the quiz podcast to find out how you did.
Play, share, and of course, listen to the quiz at thequiz.fox.
Your money can't just sit in its 401k or IRA tax-free forever. The required minimum distribution, or RMD, is the withdrawal you'll need to make to avoid a penalty.
The age at which you're required to start taking out money from your retirement is now 73.
CPA Stephen Zellin of Zellin & Associates says you'll owe taxes on the money you withdraw.
The calculation is based on different factors from the IRS table.
The exception is a Roth IRA. Ginny Cosola, Fox News.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A trolley driver in Philadelphia who has been making people smile and feel good for 26 years makes today's Dean's List. Tracy Holmes Williams has been working for the Southeast Philadelphia Transportation Authority for over 2.5 decades and says her mission is to treat people with kindness and enjoy their commute around the city. Tracy says you're coming into her house, so she wants to make you feel good and have a nice time. Part of that journey involves uplifting quotes and posters on the inside of her trolley to inspire and keep your chin up. Tracy believes she and her colleagues are on the front lines of a civic mindset and encourages everyone to laugh or smile, to inspire others, because you just never know what kind of day people are having, and it's important to try to make people feel good. Tracy Holmes Williams, it's always sunny in Philadelphia when you're around. Janice Dean, Fox News.
Fox News, I'm Tom Graham. President Trump hosting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House today. He's the first world leader Mr. Trump has met with since announcing his sweeping tariffs last week.
We are going to eliminate the tariffs, and rapidly.
Stocks remain volatile. Wall Street finishing mixed. The Dow fell 349 points. The S&P dropped 12, while the Nasdaq gained 15. Rivers continue to rise in the Midwest and South after days of relentless rains, and the severe weather threat continues.
At least 20 fatalities have been reported across multiple states, including Tennessee and Kentucky. Northern Florida and southern Georgia are also under a threat today, with scattered severe storms expected this afternoon. Residents across the region should prepare for damaging winds, possible tornadoes, and remain on alert as floodwaters stay dangerously high.
Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz. America is listening to Fox News.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast, a clear and cool evening with a low 50 to 54. Pleasant Tuesday, plenty of sunshine. Tuesday's high 83 to 87. Clear skies Tuesday night with a low of 58. Plenty of sunshine both Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday's high 86 to 91. A high of 87 to 92 for your Thursday. I'm AccuWeather's Drew Shannon on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
A Rio Grande Valley's news, weather, and talk station. News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
News Talk 710 KURV.
Big Monday, K-Ondas, KURV faithful. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV or 956 Drive Home. I'm Zach Cantu along with the living legend, Davis Rankin. You can hear all the coverage of the NCAA Men's College Basketball Championship tonight starting at 6. It's the Gators taking on the Houston Cougars. That's NCAA coverage from Westwood One. All the action on 710 KURV and the Radio Bottomy app. made possible by McAllen Bolt and Mott's Building Materials. We head now up to Austin and join up with Scott Braddock from the Quorum Report for
Whose house?
update of the Texas Ledge. And let's start with last week, Scott,
Start with the Cougs
the
now,
school
man. No,
vouchers
start
thing.
with the
So
Cougs.
I think this
Whose
was
house?
Thursday when the Senate, no, not the Senate. It was the committee, right, that made the vote.
Well, I was going to start with the Cougs. Whose house? They're going to win tonight. You know that, right? U of H. That's why I've got the red tie on.
Is he there?
You can see. Can't hear me.
Blink
You gotta
once
turn
if
it
you're
on.
being held hostage.
You got it. Is it in program?
There you go. There
Joe,
you go.
is it in program? You see that? As soon as I said, "Is it in program?" you could hear me.
Okay.
That's it. You're talking to a
Yes.
radio legend right now.
Yes, we're here now.
I'm
Yes,
not on
Davis is on the
Davis's
show.
legend.
We are aware. Yeah.
No. I'm the one who said it needs to be in program.
There you go. Well, you're on now.
Whose house? Whose house? That's what I was trying to say.
Whose
That's
house?
That's what actually matters. It's at U of H is going to win tonight. Whose house? That's why I've got the red
Oh, that's
tie
the wrong
on. We're
meme.
good
I'm
to go.
sorry. You're
It's what?
talking about Houston.
You have a
Yeah, I
bet
was
now?
talking about professional wrestling. All right. Where did we leave off, Scott?
I couldn't hear anything that you were trying to ask me. That's
All right.
what. That's
Last week, vouchers,
Yeah.
committee, education. What happened?
Mhm. Well, in the Public Education Committee last week, there was a meeting where the voucher and school finance bills were voted out. It was a meeting where there wasn't much transparency, and I haven't seen them do this in quite this way before, Davis, where they have a meeting where they don't live stream it on the, for the public. And so it's key that we have journalists like myself there to even see what happens. Now they have lots of meetings at the Capitol where they will simply hold a vote on a bill after they've already had a hearing, like they did on these bills earlier. But these are completely different pieces of legislation now. They've been completely rewritten, and it's a lot of changes were made to these bills. And so I've never seen one of these meetings that's not live streamed go for 3 hours or so, which is what happened last Thursday.
You don't
So
need any
that was all
company to
very
speak for
strange.
you.
It doesn't really, lend a lot of credibility to the process. If you're going to do this behind closed doors, which is what a lot of people were upset about. Now we did, there was media there. And so I had to, drag in, my friends from TV News to have them do a live stream, but the state should have been doing it. I mean, that's BS for them not to, right? To have a 3-hour meeting where they discuss changes to something that would fundamentally change the way that we pay for schools in Texas and the way we're going to apparently have this school voucher deal. And all the way through this, we've talked about it before. If vouchers were such a good idea, why couldn't the governor campaign on that last year against those House Republicans? Instead, remember, he campaigned against them and lied about them and said that they were not strong enough on border security. And if it's such a good idea, why does it have to be discussed in a meeting that's not even live streamed? If it's so popular, Zach, if everybody wants it, why wouldn't they just put it out there for everybody to see? Instead, we all have to go down there and try to figure out what's going on.
Weeks before, Scott.
What's that?
I think we've talked about this over several weeks and months in the past year or two about
Right.
the way that this unfolded, how it could have been,
Mhm.
if they really wanted to do it, how they could have done it in a much more efficient way, setting the groundwork and
Well, they could
things
have done it in a transparent way. Instead, this is a scam. The whole thing is a scam. Every bit of it is a scam, right? The way they did the campaigns last year was a scam. They fooled voters into thinking that certain Republicans were not strong enough on border security so that those Republicans could be replaced with people who would vote for vouchers, right? That's what they did during the campaign. And then during this legislative session, they're scamming everybody again. And they're holding, a meeting that's 3 hours long, that's not live streamed, and, rolling out major changes to this. Telling people that, oh, this is for poor kids to get out of failing schools, when, as was mentioned during the meeting, get this, Zach, anybody of any income level is eligible for it. Elon Musk was mentioned by name. And so he's on his 14th or 15th kid now. And I think 7 or 8 of those kids are, under the school age. So, if he had a $10,000 voucher for each one of his kids, he could get something like $1.2 million.
Didn't we
from the
discuss
voucher
that
program.
there was
He doesn't need it.
some sort of like pay bracket? Wasn't like 140,000 or something like that?
Up
Like
to
BS.
140.
Wasn't
Well,
that
it's
the cap?
BS. Well, it's BS. I mean, the bottom line is that anyone of any income level can get that voucher. That's what's in the legislation. Now, here's what you're talking about. What was proposed is that they would, quote unquote, prioritize people who are, quote, low income. But again, this is a scam. In what other situation would up to $160,000 be considered low income? Only in this proposal, right? So everything about it is just bogus.
What's the end? What do they want? I mean, what's the real story here? I'm not being coy.
That's what they want. And for the sake of time, there's like 3 other things that we have to discuss about things that are happening this week, Davey. Scott Braddock from the Quorum Report up in Austin, joining us on 710 KURV. Which reminds me, what was happening this week?
What was happening this week? I don't know. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that scam, because Davis is asking a good question. If I can just take over the segment for a second.
Well, hold on. No, because we got 3 minutes left. And I do want to have like a diverse segment of what's happening up in Austin.
I'm stuck on it. It's just people who are stealing the Texas government.
We've monologued for
buying
countless hours talking
Texas
about how the way it
for
was rolled
$10
out.
million to steal money from the public education system.
Another day.
I'm disgusted. I've got
another day.
I hear you. But you wanted to talk about, we had the Life of the Mother Act. We had THC as well. We had the budget. Oh, let's talk about the budget.
Oh,
what's up with the budget, Scott?
Just a lot of figures, right? Just one thing after another.
Oh, did we? Oh, I think we lost Scott. It's okay. That's
all those numbers, and then there's those dots, and I just can't figure it out. That's what Churchill's father said.
Yeah.
No, it's so the story is, if in fact vouchers are not what they are being said to be about, which is twisted sentence, what are they really about? And I know people say, me being, it just in some ways doesn't make sense that this is all a scheme to let people sell stuff to schools, which is what they're saying. There's a lot of money in public education because they have to buy books and coursework and all that kind of stuff, and that's a way to privatizing education is a way to do that. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm not saying I don't believe it, but that's
I think we were talking about this last week. Where I wasn't. If there was a way that they were going to do it, I would have preferred them do it like this, and that whole thing is a 10-15 minute discussion on its own.
If they don't do it, what occurs to anybody in the listening audience, and to Zach, what occurs to you is the right way to do it. If they don't do it that way, why? And assuming you're not thinking off the beam, there's a reason why, and they don't want you to know what that reason why is. Does that make sense?
Right. And partly, this whole thing, there's a lot of stuff to unpack when we're talking about this too, because like I said, you need at least 10-15 minutes to unpack everything about the way that they rolled it out, and because this took a good handful of years for us to even get to this point.
They've been working on this for a long time.
Yeah, they have been working this for a long time.
But if somebody is not being straightforward, and if they're not straightforward in the way they handle it, then immediately be suspicious. Immediately be suspicious, whatever it is. And in this case, public education. Now, here's the question I have: if education is in such bad shape in Texas that we must have this fix, do we trust the people who are advocating this fix because they're the people who are in charge of the present system? They got the fix for the system they have broken. That makes sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm being too twisted. Well, no, the legislature's in charge of public education,
but everything is
in such bad shape that they have to fix it with this other way of education. But you screwed it. You're in charge. Why haven't you fixed it? If kids can't read, for example, why can't they read? You're in charge of why they read or how they learn to read. So what is it you're doing wrong?
Like I said, look, this is too much that needs to get unpacked. The stuff that you're presenting now, we have to go back to the COVID years, because that's one of the reasons why all the kids are behind, is because of the COVID years when they weren't sending the kids to school and they were having a hard time dealing with the online school, and now they're behind. And there's other functional things too about the way reading is being taught. We had somebody on the local school board who wanted to go back to teaching phonics, which I believed in, which I believe in the phonics system,
Are they teaching it? I have no idea.
I don't believe that they are, which is why this was being brought up as an issue in the first place. Like I said, there's just so much to unpack on this particular topic of why kids aren't doing well in schools. And I don't feel like there's a one size fits all way of fixing it.
No, but there's some, like with education, with reading, they say
with
phonics,
the Department of Education nationally, they're doing the whole, hey, let's leave it to the states and let's get the 50 petri dishes out and let's see what works and let's see what doesn't work. And
that's what
I feel like they're doing the same thing. Well, I feel like they're doing the same thing here in the state of Texas. Well, let's see what happens when we throw charter schools into the mix. Now, is it an optimal way of rolling the whole thing out and selling people on the idea and what have you? It might not be.
They're not trying to sell it. They're trying to.
But I'm trying not to. I am trying real hard not to go down that road of, we're getting railroaded about this, which we might be. We might be in one way, shape, or form.
Just look at the way they behave.
I'm trying real hard to give everybody the benefit of the doubt on this one. And I know it's a highly contested issue and there's a lot to explain about it. And
give me a break. You're too fair-minded. You're being too nice. You're being too fair-minded. You're being too.
That's what Joe says. Isn't that what you tell me all the time, Zach? You're being too nice. Yes, I know. I'm being too nice because I know everybody has some valid concerns and I'm trying to balance all of these things at the same time. And it's very difficult to do that, admittedly. Especially on these more controversial topics, because you can't please everybody. And the time that you try to please everybody, that means nobody's going to be happy about it. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. This is your 956 Drive Home. Lots more head your way coming up after this.
You're just minutes away from the top of the hour news with Fox News Radio. Stay tuned for the latest headlines. News Talk 710 KURV.
CarsForKids.org. Right off the car, not the kid.
Got an old or unused vehicle you need to get rid of? Donate it to the original CarsForKids.org. Towing is free, and you'll be helping kids in our communities. CarsForKids.org is the best vehicle donation charity impacting the lives of kids thanks to your vehicle donations. CarsForKids.org picks up vehicles in any condition, and you'll receive a $50 gift card. Don't delay. Donate today.
A great deal on the construction equipment you rely on. Right now at ASCO, get 0% APR financing for 48 months on select case skid steers, compact track loaders, mini excavators, and backhoes with approved credit. Plus, no payments for 90 days on skid steers and compact track loaders. And with a 3-year, 3,000-hour premium extended warranty included, you're covered from the start. Need equipment? We're on it at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com. Financing terms and conditions apply. See ASCO for details.
Hey, is it just me, or are there way more ducks in the office than usual?
Hadn't noticed, but now that you mention it, this is quite a lot of ducks.
What are they doing here?
Oh, they heard Mighty Mike now offers duct cleaning.
Yeah, but that's not ducks, it's ducts.
Yeah, you want to tell them that? You'll have one serious quack attack on your hands.
What's your plan?
Embrace it. I call the one in the shower cap Sir Duckworth.
Yep, Mighty Mike now offers duct cleaning. Call 956-686-1353 for big savings on your next bill. You know we had to do it.
Look for us online at callmightymike.com.
Our call letters, KURV. Our frequency, 710 AM. Our specialty, news and talk. News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
Zach Cantu, Davey Do, and you. Your 956 Drive Home on News Talk 710 KURV. Let me go national here for a second. Where did I find... Nope, I lost it. Let's not go national then. The White House's announcement of tariffs last week still causing volatility on Wall Street. Stocks had finished mostly lower to start the week. The averages swung between gains and losses in wild trading as investors tried to gauge when the tariff turmoil is going to end. President Trump's threat to impose even higher tariffs on China added to Monday's uncertainty. Where did I think this is the audio. So this is a little bit of a summary. This is the guy, the host of the Big Money Show, talking to Harris Faulkner on the Faulkner Focus on Fox News. Try saying that 10 times fast. Off the air, Davey, because I'm sure there's going to be a slip up or two. But here's what he had to say.
This has been a wild day on Wall Street, okay? So we saw a plunge to start the day, and then we got this rumor that the president might be doing a 90-day pause on tariffs, which wasn't true. But the market just shot through the roof, and then it was confirmed it's not true.
How much did it shoot through the roof?
Dow went up about 1,000 points.
What does
we
that
had
tell
green
you?
on the screen of almost 1,000 points after the last 2 days.
I looked up. I saw that it had started, had a good start. What does that tell
So
you?
here's what it tells me. You've had all this selling in the market, but as soon as investors got the whiff of a rumor that you might get a pause, all of a sudden they were feeling bullish again. Okay. So what it tells me is you've got a lot of negative sentiment among investors on these tariffs, but I don't know if it's that deep. They're expecting this president to cut a deal. And as soon as they thought he did, it soared. So, if I'm the president of the United States and I see that, I'm thinking, okay, I hold a lot of cards, maybe even more now than I thought.
So many cards we hold. We hold all the cards. Just like I told Vladimir Zelensky, with me, you have the cards. Without me, you don't have the cards.
Cards are made
Same
in
thing
China,
here.
probably.
We have so many cards right now. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV, your 956 drive home.